What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. Just finishing up a jog again after a wild day with GameStop. And I was thinking about this the other day. Like, I don't mean to be turning this channel into like a GameStop-centric channel, but at the same time, I always stay true to myself in covering what interests me and what I find fascinating. So with that in mind, if you guys are getting frustrated with the GameStop content, one, you don't have to watch it, so you don't have to click on these videos. But two, understand what YouTube is all about. I feel like sometimes in this rigmarole that we keep catching ourselves up in, everyone just tries to please everybody, and in doing so, you fail yourself. And with all that being said, I just want to get to the point of this video. It was a crazy day for GameStop. I mean, there was one point where the stock went up like over, what was it, like 12%? It spiked up and then fell straight back down. And I was thinking this was like manipulation the whole time and freaking out about it. But then it spent the rest of the day climbing right back and ending at nearly a high of the day or close to it, $43. And then doing fairly well in after hours immediately following that too. So there's a lot of good to be said for the GameStop stock. But what happened today was fascinating between Citron Research, a notable short seller by the name of Andrew Left, who is barred from trading in Hong Kong because he's broken so many rules and laws and is a very shady character in his own right. He finally, after multiple attempts at trying to live stream and then trying to release a video, he eventually does go on Bazinga and posts a video talking about his 5 reasons why GameStop is going to fail. And it was just embarrassing. Okay, so getting right to it. This is the thing. Andrew Left, a notable short seller from Citron Research, he calls it, is basically a bungling bozo clown that walks around trying to talk big about what he knows. But then when it comes down to it, he's got nothing, like absolutely nothing. And when he announced on Tuesday that he was going to release a report on Wednesday regarding why GameStop is going to fail, it stopped a rally dead in its tracks because people started to wonder, oh man, does this random dude on the internet, for some reason, has some clout? I have no idea why, but people are paying attention to him over anybody else. Does he have some secret stuff that he knows about GameStop and why it's going to fail? And maybe we shouldn't be buying this stock because, oh man, maybe there's an angle we didn't consider. So then Wednesday comes and he postpones it. Why? Because of the inauguration. And how patriotic of Andrew to do so. Even though I'm pretty sure it happens every 4 years on a scheduled date. Probably should have seen that coming. And I think that's a precursor to us understanding just the low level of IQ that this guy has, scheduling a live stream during the inauguration. Like, it's one thing if you don't care about the inauguration, you're doing a live stream, okay, have at it. But then have the next day come and say, oh, the live stream is during the inauguration. That's not really patriotic to do that. So I'm going to delay it to the next day. Not to after the inauguration, but to the next day. So he was clearly just trying to drag this out as long as possible to keep the share price down and drive it down as much as possible. And to a certain extent, I'll admit, it was working. I mean, like I said earlier, he stopped a rally dead in its tracks when it was heading straight to $45, and it retracted all the way back to like 36. It was crazy. It was absolutely nuts, and clearly pissed a lot of people off because anyone in the investment community knows this guy's a clown. But it doesn't matter because he still said something and people were intrigued in what he had to say. So then the video comes out finally after a botched attempt at a live stream this morning that he claimed was hacked on his Twitter, even though he posted on Twitter afterwards that it was hacked. I don't think he understands what that word means, but regardless, he eventually does release a video discussing the 5 things of why GameStop is going to fail. And big surprise, lo and behold, everything this guy talked about in his 6-minute spiel was trash. Like, it was literally all the same stuff that's been rehashed over and over and over again, millions of times by bulls and bears alike. The things that we already know about GameStop, and even things that are made up about it, like talking about how it's a dying retailer that's based in malls. No, it's not. Like, there are some stores in the malls, but for the most part, they've been closing the less successful stores, and most of those have been in malls. So he goes on talking about how it's a mall-based retailer, and he has to throw in the line about how it's Blockbuster, how it's got all these things going for it that will be so detrimental to its success in the future. He talks about how insiders are selling, which, yes, but that's only half the picture. He doesn't talk about how those insiders that are selling are the ones that were let go, being replaced by Ryan Cohen and his two cohorts joining the board that are buying more than what they sold. Like, when you only give investors half a picture, it paints an outline that isn't true, which is funny because he says people lie, numbers don't lie. But then he gives the numbers to prove his point, but leaves out the numbers that would make all of his points completely irrelevant. So in a weird way, it's kind of lying by omission, which is what he did throughout the entire video. And one thing he did say that I'll agree with him on is he said that the short squeeze hasn't happened. It hasn't. There's still a tremendous amount of people shorting this stock. There's still a tremendous amount of upside. There's people like Melvin Capital that are shorting the hell out of it and losing their shirt every single day. And now this bozo the clown, Andrew Left, joining in on shorting the stock that is screaming to new highs what seems like every single week for the past 2 months. It's been an incredible ride, one of historic magnitude, especially in the video game space. This does not happen very often. So with all that being said, after the market saw what Andrew Left had to come out with, and it was like he's holding the phone the wrong way, and it's a dark room. It's like some weird dude that's just it's like he was just not have his act together. It was far from being professional. It was just some dude who was trying to make a point so that he could make money. But what it ultimately ended up doing was reversing the course of the market, and the stock shot up like 10% from that video being posted. Everything that everybody was afraid about ended up working in the favor of the bulls. It was just wild. Now, this is all before there's any kind of roadmap announced by Ryan Cohen and the team there and what they're planning on doing. There's lots of conjecture, lots of rumors, lots of things that I've talked about in previous videos, lots of things that they could do. I hear rumors about like how they might try to do like a game box thing like Redbox and sell games at airports and outside of stores potentially. Like, that's a huge thing. Talking about how Ryan Cohen might work to get licenses for games so that they can buy and sell used games that are digital. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. Like, these are just a couple of things. In my other video talking about how they're making some of their stores PC building stations. It's a big deal. A lot of people could benefit from that. And these are gigantic money-making opportunities. But that's all it is right now. Being realistic about this, we're all talking about hopes and dreams. There's nothing that's actually come to fruition outside of the consoles that are coming out right now. The PS5, Xbox Series S and Xbox Series X, and the Nintendo Switch that continues to sell like hotcakes. There's nothing beyond that yet. But investors are believing in the story that is yet to come from Ryan Cohen. And that is a powerful thing. But anyways, that's where I'm at with all of this. It's been a insanely wild ride. I don't know where it's going to go from here, but it is something that is extremely interesting to me, and I'm going to continue covering it for as long as it's interesting to me. So if you guys like this kind of stuff, make sure you hit that subscribe and bell for notifications. Let me know what your thoughts on GameStop stock, GME ticker symbol, are, and if you're a bull, if you're a bear, why you're investing in it, why you're thinking about getting into it. And if you are not an investor but you might want to, check out my Robinhood link in the description below. You get a free stock, I get a free stock. It's pretty cool. That's where I'm going to end this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing.